The crown of Queen Charlotte. Queen Charlotte's nuptial crown is a storied piece of royal regalia that has traversed centuries, seen disputes, and adorned numerous royal heads. Its journey begins in 1761 when King George III wed Duchess Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz. As a wedding gift, George III purchased jewels worth £50,000, which were combined with Hanoverian Royal Heirlooms to create a crown for the new queen. The crown itself is a marvel of craftsmanship. Designed in the traditional style of English royal crowns, it features a circlet adorned with alternating crosses, patées, and fleurs-de-lis. Two arches rise from the circlet, crowned by an orb and a smaller crown. Notably, the crown is encrusted with an array of brilliant diamonds, some of considerable size. Its most distinctive feature is the four golden rods that curve gently from the junction of the arches, each ending in a large solitaire pendeloque diamond. These dangling diamonds add a striking effect when the crown is worn. Just weeks after their marriage, King George III and Queen Charlotte were crowned at Westminster Abbey. Queen Charlotte wore her new nuptial crown, making it a significant part of the coronation ceremony. The nuptial crown features prominently in portraits of Queen Charlotte, and one such portrait, painted by Joshua Reynolds in 1779, depicts her in her robes of state with the crown displayed prominently on her head. This crown became a symbol of her regal status and was a key part of her public image. In 1795, Queen Charlotte's eldest son, George, Prince of Wales, married Princess Caroline of Brunswick, and it appears that Princess Caroline wore Queen Charlotte's nuptial crown for the ceremony at the Chapel Royal of St. James's Palace. Queen Charlotte, who orchestrated the wedding, ensured that the bride was dressed in an opulent silver tissue gown with a crimson velvet robe and a diamond coronet worth £20,000. The Prince of Wales wore a chocolate-coloured coat richly embroidered with silver. After Queen Charlotte's death in 1818, some of her personal jewels, like the Arcot diamonds, were auctioned off. However, in her will, Queen Charlotte specified that the jewels given to her at her marriage were to remain with the House of Hanover, to be considered heirlooms in the direct line of succession. The Hanoverian crown jewels passed to King George IV in 1818, then to King William IV in 1830, and finally to Queen Victoria in 1837. This transfer of jewels marked the end of the dual monarchy, as the Kingdom of Hanover was inherited by Queen Victoria's uncle, the former Duke of Cumberland. He laid claim to the ancient Hanoverian jewels bequeathed by George I, and the jewels left to Hanover by Queen Caroline. In 1839, Queen Victoria was depicted wearing the nuptial crown at a drawing room at St. James's Palace. Despite a commission being appointed in 1843 to look into the King of Hanover's claims, Queen Victoria continued to wear the Hanoverian crown jewels, incorporating various stones into other pieces of her jewellery, such as her regal circlet and oriental circlet tiara. In 1857, the Commission ruled in favour of the King of Hanover, Queen Victoria's cousin. Reluctantly, Queen Victoria sent the Hanoverian crown jewels to Hanover. A few years later, she commissioned her small diamond crown as a replacement for the nuptial crown. In 1866, the Kingdom of Hanover was annexed by Prussia, and the royal family went into exile in Austria. Fearing confiscation, the Hanoverian crown jewels were buried and later smuggled back to London by a countess who deposited them in the Bank of England. Queen Mary recounted this tale, highlighting the dramatic efforts taken to preserve the jewels. The jewels eventually returned to the Hanoverian royal family in Austria, residing at Scrolls, Cumberland. The nuptial crown reappeared publicly in 1904 when Princess Alexandra of Hanover wore it for her wedding to Grand Duke Frederick Francis IV of Mecklenburg-Strelitz. In 1938, Princess Frederica of Hanover wore the crown at her wedding to Crown Prince Paul of Greece, and post-World War II, the Hanoverian royal family returned to Hanover. The nuptial crown was worn by Princess Ortrud at her wedding to Prince Ernest Augusta of Hanover in 1951, and by Princess Alexandra at her wedding to Prince Wilf Henry of Hanover in 1960. The last public appearance of the nuptial crown was in 1981, worn by Princess Alexandra of Hanover for her wedding to Prince Andreas of Lenningen in Amerbach. The Hanoverian royal family is rumoured to keep heirlooms like the nuptial crown in a bank vault in the UK, possibly explaining why the jewels have not been publicly worn in recent decades. Despite the nuptial crown's absence from public events, it remains a significant symbol of royal heritage. Its next appearance may be at the wedding of Princess Alexandra, the only daughter of the current Prince of Hanover, hinting at the continuing legacy of Queen Charlotte's nuptial crown. The crown of Queen Victoria. In 1861, following the death of Prince Albert, Queen Victoria retreated from public life, deeply mourning her loss. During the next decade, her public appearances were sparse, and she only personally opened Parliament twice, in 1866 and 1867. On both occasions, the Lord Chancellor read her speech from the steps of the throne. Unlike earlier in her reign, Victoria never wore the imperial state crown with her parliamentary robes during these appearances. Instead, she followed a tradition that Elizabeth II would later adopt, wearing the 1820 diamond diadem while having the imperial state crown carried before her on a cushion. When Victoria opened Parliament in 1866 and 1867, she wore her parliamentary robe over her widow's attire, a black gown, a widow's cap, and a long white veil. Atop this veil she placed a small tiara rather than the diamond diadem, which would have been unsuitable with her mourning ensemble. By 1870, after nearly 10 years in seclusion, public opinion pressured Queen Victoria to return to a more visible role. To facilitate this transition, the court jeweller, Garrard, crafted a small diamond crown for her. This new crown made its debut when Victoria opened Parliament on the 9th of February 1871. She would wear this crown for Parliament openings only 4 more times, 1876, 77, 80 and 86. The small diamond crown, designed to complement her widow's veil, is a delicate piece standing 9.9 centimetres tall, with a diameter of approximately 9 centimetres and weighing just 160 grams, a fraction of the imperial state crown's weight. It is adorned with 1,187 brilliant and rose-cut diamonds. The design mirrors the traditional style of the imperial state crown, complete with a crest of crosses patées and fleurs-de-lis, arches and a mon topped with a cross. And in the late 19th century, England was overrun with medieval aesthetics, embracing a Gothic revival. The small crown's rounded arches echo the style of late medieval and early Tudor crowns, reminiscent of the Tudor state crown depicted in portraits of Henry VII and Henry VIII. Thus, this small crown not only symbolised Victoria's enduring grief, but also a nod to historical continuity and the stylistic preferences of her era. Throughout the latter part of her reign, Queen Victoria frequently wore a versatile small diamond crown. Its detachable arches allowed it to be worn as a circlet, which she often did during formal drawing rooms at St James's Palace. Notably, She donned this crown publicly during her Golden Jubilee celebrations in 1887. The coinage minted that year, featuring the Jubilee head, depicts the Queen with this crown atop her widow's veil. The inspiration for this diminutive diamond crown traces back to another notable piece in the royal collection, Queen Charlotte's diamond nuptial crown, and this crown, crafted to celebrate the marriage of George III and Queen Charlotte on September 8, 1761, was first worn at their coronation on the 22nd of September, 1761. In Allan Ramsay's state portrait of Queen Charlotte, painted between 1761 and 1769, the crown is depicted resting on a cushion beside her. Although Ramsay exaggerated its size, the crown was a small state crown in miniature, complete with a traditional circlet of fleurs-de-lis and crosses patées, arches and a monde, entirely set with diamonds. Designed as a hair ornament, it was intended to sit atop the Queen's head. This crown, now among the heirlooms of the Royal House of Hanover, left the British royal collection following the end of the personal union between Great Britain and Hanover in 1837, when Queen Victoria ascended the throne. Due to Salic law, which forbid female inheritance, her uncle Ernest Augustus, Duke of Cumberland and fifth son of George III and Queen Charlotte, became King of Hanover. Claiming his right to some of Queen Charlotte's jewels based on her will, Ernest Augustus argued these were his inheritance. Queen Charlotte's will had bequeathed certain items to the House of Hanover, which at the time included ruling House of Great Britain, not anticipating the union's dissolution. This dispute over the jewels was unresolved during Ernest Augustus' lifetime, ending in 1851. However, in 1857, a commissioned rule in favour of his son, King George V of Hanover, and consequently in 1858, Queen Victoria sent Queen Charlotte's nuptial crown and other items to Hanover. The crown continued to play a significant role in the Hanoverian royal family, notably being worn by brides at their weddings. The modest crown undoubtedly inspired Queen Victoria's little diamond crown. Queen Charlotte's nuptial crown was a personal item, replacing a similarly small crown made for Queen Consort Mary of Modena in 1685. The two crowns were crafted for Mary in preparation for the coronation of James II, a coronation crown and a state crown. Mary Modena's state crown, still part of the royal collection, was a gold piece set with £35,000 worth of diamonds for her 1685 coronation. The crown was later reset with diamonds for the coronations of 1689, 1702 and 1727, before eventually being adorned with paste stones. During Queen Victoria's funeral in February 1901, both her small diamond crown and Mary of Modena's crown were prominently displayed. For her 10-day lying in state at Osborne House on the Isle of Wight, Victoria's coffin was draped with her parliamentary robe, topped with a small diamond crown. Upon reaching Windsor, Mary of Modena's crown was placed on the coffin for the lying in state in the Albert Memorial Chapel, before her burial in the Royal Mausoleum at Frogmore. This marked the last time Mary of Modena's crown left the jewel house, and Queen Alexandra occasionally wore Queen Victoria's small diamond crown, but had her own crown made for her coronation in 1902. She preferred the 1820 diamond diadem when appearing in state with Edward VII, and after 1910, changing fashion trends led to the small diamond crown falling out of use, and it was added to the regalia in the Tower of London in the early 1950s. The crown of Queen Alexandra. King Edward VII ascended the British throne in January 1901, following the death of his mother, Queen Victoria. He and his wife, Queen Alexandra, were initially set to be crowned on the 26th of June 1902. However, Edward's sudden need for abdominal surgery postponed the ceremony until August. On August 9, 1902, the royal couple departed Buckingham Palace for Westminster Abbey. They were photographed at the palace's west portico entrance, poised for their journey. Both wore their coronation robes, with Edward additionally donning a velvet cap and the collar of the Order of the Garter, presenting a regal and majestic image. This coronation marked the first in Britain in over 60 years, following Queen Victoria's Golden and Diamond Jubilees. These jubilees had set a high standard and helped guide the planning, ensuring the coronation's success. The elaborate event was a precursor to subsequent 20th century coronations. However, the age and health of the Archbishop of Canterbury, Frederick Temple, posed a challenge. Despite being 80 years old and in declining health, Temple accepted some accommodations, such as using large print scrolls. Nevertheless, he insisted on conducting the majority of the service himself. During the pivotal moment of crowning Edward, he accidentally placed the crown backwards on the king's head. The crown itself underwent significant changes due to the postponement of the coronation. Originally, Edward intended to be crowned with St. Edward's crown, a historic golden crown created for Charles II in 1661. This crown, last used in 1689, was extremely heavy, weighing nearly 5 pounds. Edward's continuing health issues made it impractical to use this weighty crown. Instead, the lighter imperial state crown made for Queen Victoria in 1838 was chosen instead. This crown, adorned with over 3,000 gems, including diamonds, sapphires, emeralds and pearls, was altered for Edward's use. The imperial state crown is a striking piece, with its most prominent feature being the Black Prince's ruby, a large spinel set in the front cross. This was the crown that Temple inadvertently placed backwards on Edward's head during the crowning moment. Queen Alexandra also played a significant role in the coronation. A famous painting by a Danish artist shows her being anointed by the Archbishop of York beneath a canopy held by 4 peeresses. For her coronation, a new crown was crafted, tailored to her preferences and stature. This crown featured curved feminine arches and predominantly showcased the Koh-i-Noor diamond, a gem with a contentious history. The diamond, acquired during Queen Victoria's reign, has a controversial backstory involving the British East India Company and the Sikh Empire. In the late 1840s, following wars with the Sikh Empire, the British East India Company annexed the Punjab region and compelled the young Duleep Singh to surrender his kingdom. Along with this annexation, the company obtained 2 famous gemstones, the Timur ruby and the Koh-i-Noor diamond. These gems were handed over to Queen Victoria, marking a significant and controversial chapter in the colonial history. The diamond, believed to bring misfortune to men but good luck to women, was reset in various crowns over the years. It was prominently displayed in Queen Alexandra's new crown for the coronation. The crown of Queen Alexandra, also known as the Alexandra Coronation Diadem, was crafted in 1902 specifically for her coronation. It stands as one of the most dazzling and well-crafted coronation diadems in the British Royal Crown collection. Created by Garrard & Co., the official jeweller for the royal family, in collaboration with renowned diamond merchant Sophie Zaska. The crown is a masterpiece of the Art Nouveau style, characterized by its ornate and flowing motifs. The crown is made of silver and adorned with a breathtaking array of diamonds, pearls, and other precious stones. Its most notable feature is the diamond fleur-de-lis motifs which are set in a crown-like arrangement around the central sapphire. The sapphire is a large oval-cut stone, flanked by smaller sapphires and surrounded by a halo of diamonds. The base of the crown boasts a series of diamond arches supported by diamond-set scrolls, enhancing its regal appearance. Queen Alexandra wore this magnificent crown at the coronation of her husband, King Edward VII, in 1902. The crown was also worn by Queen Mary, the wife of King George V, at stately events. Over the years, it has adorned several other members of the British royal family, including Queen Elizabeth II and Princess Anne, showcasing its timeless elegance and significance. Beyond coronation ceremonies, the crown of Queen Alexandra has been a fixture at other state occasions, including weddings and official visits. Currently housed in the Tower of London, alongside other British royal crowns and regalia, it remains one of the most iconic and impressive pieces of royal regalia in the world. The intricate design and exquisite craftsmanship of the crown are a testament to the skill and artistry of the jewellers who created it over a century ago. The crown of Queen Alexandra holds a significant role in the coronation ceremony, used to adorn the Queen Consort while receiving the Archbishop's blessings. This crown, with its intricate artistry and precious gemstones, symbolises noble lineage and the embodiment of regal elegance. As the Queen Consort takes her place beside her royal partner, the Archbishop, the spiritual guide and custodian of the faith, bestows upon her the blessings of grace, wisdom, and divine protection. With the crown of Queen Alexandra delicately placed upon her head, the Queen Consort assumes her rightful position as a guardian of tradition, a pillar of strength, and a symbol of unity within the realm. The Archbishop's blessing echoes through the hallowed halls, resonating with a timeless verse that encapsulates the essence of the moment. May the crown's weight be light upon your brow as you carry the burden of duty and grace somehow. In the sacred union, may your heart be true. Guided by love, may you shine as a beacon anew. This quote captures the profound significance of the coronation ceremony, where the crown of Queen Alexandra becomes a vessel of power and responsibility for the Queen Consort. It highlights the dual nature of the crown as a symbol of authority and a reminder of the devotion required to serve the nation and its people. In conclusion, the coronation of King Edward VII and Queen Alexandra was a landmark event in British history, combining tradition with the personal touches of the new monarchs. The changes to the crown, the detailed planning influenced by Queen Victoria's jubilees, and the significant roles played by both Edward and Alexandra underscored the ceremony's grandeur and importance. The extensive jewellery and the carefully designed coronation robes worn by Alexandra further emphasised the splendour of the occasion, making it a memorable and historically significant event. The Crown of Queen Mary. The crown of Queen Mary, an exquisite piece of royal jewellery, holds a significant place in British history. Crafted in 1911 for the coronation of Queen Mary of Teck, it symbolises both the splendour and the continuity of the British monarchy. As a consort crown, it has a unique role, having been worn by Queen Consorts during key ceremonial moments. Over the years, it has undergone several transformations, adapting to the needs and tastes of the queens who wore it, most recently at the coronation of Queen Camilla on the 6th of May 2023. Queen Mary, known for her impeccable taste and sense of history, personally commissioned her crown from Garrard & Co., the royal jewellers. Her vision was to create an heirloom that future queen consorts would cherish and wear. The crown stands out for its Art Deco influence, a departure from more traditional designs. Its structure is notable for the 8 half arches, which is unusual for British crowns that typically feature either 4 half arches or 2 full arches. Standing 25 centimetres tall and weighing 590 grams, the crown is a masterpiece of silver gilt craftsmanship, adorned with approximately 2,200 rose-cut and brilliant-cut diamonds. Among these precious stones, the crown originally featured the famous 105.6 carat Koh-i-Noor diamond, along with the 94.4 carat Cullinan III and the 63.6 carat Cullinan IV diamonds. These significant gems added not only to the crown's monetary value, but also to its historical and cultural significance. In 1914, just a few years after its creation, the crown underwent significant modifications. The original diamonds were replaced with crystal replicas, allowing the priceless stones to be used elsewhere while maintaining the crown's appearance. Additionally, the arches of the crown were made detachable, enabling it to be worn as an open circlet. This adaptability proved useful for Queen Mary, who wore the crown in this form after the death of her husband, King George V, in 1936. In 1937, further enhancements were made to the crown in preparation for the coronation of George VI. The heart-shaped 18.8 carat Cullinan V diamond was added, enriching the crown's legacy and beauty. Following Queen Mary's death in 1953, the crown was displayed at the Tower of London, where it became part of the public exhibition of the crown jewels, allowing visitors to marvel at its intricate design and storied past. The most recent chapter in the crown's history came with the coronation of Queen Camilla in May 2023. For this significant event, the crown was partially altered to honour both tradition and the new Queen Consort. One of the key changes was the reinsertion of the original Cullinan III and IV diamonds, replacing the crystal replicas that had been in place since 1914. Additionally, the Cullinan V diamond, which had been added in 1937, was prominently featured as a tribute to Camilla's mother-in-law, Queen Elizabeth II, who had worn the diamonds as brooches. Another notable alteration was the removal of 4 of the crown's 8 half arches. This change not only updated the crown's appearance, but also symbolised a blend of historical continuity and modern adaptation, reflecting the evolving nature of the monarchy itself. The modifications ensured that while the crown retained its historical significance, it also became a bespoke piece for Queen Camilla, marking her unique place in royal history. The crown of Queen Mary is more than just a piece of jewellery. It is a symbol of continuity, adaptation, and the enduring legacy of the British monarchy. Each modification and each queen who wore it added to its rich tapestry of history. From Queen Mary's initial vision of creating an heirloom to Queen Camilla's coronation, the crown has evolved while maintaining its core identity. Queen Mary's intention for the crown to become a cherished heirloom has indeed come to fruition. Its ability to be adapted for different queen consorts demonstrates its timelessness and versatility. The crown not only represents the personal tastes and styles of the queens who wore it, but also reflects broader changes in society and the monarchy. And in conclusion, the crown of Queen Mary stands as a testament to the enduring nature of the British royal tradition. Its journey from 1911 to the present day encapsulates a century of history marked by personal stories, national ceremonies, and evolving traditions. As it continues to be worn by future Queen Consort, it will undoubtedly carry forward its legacy, symbolising both the grandeur and the continuity of the British monarchy.